The same as a hammer, same as a screwdriver, a wrench, etc., right? Money is a tool, and at the end of the day, it could either damage your life or it can actually hurt your life. We gotta understand that money is a tool that gives us the freedom. Money is a tool that's gonna give us more freedom, the ability to set our family up for a long life of being free, giving us the ability to ensure that our children have opportunities that we ourselves didn't have, right? And so, you know, I want you guys to look at these statistics up here, right? And when we talk about generational trauma, it's a reason that 63% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. It's a reason that more than half of Americans don't have $1,000 saved if something was to occur. Literally, if an emergency happened, get a flat tire, you gotta get a new roof on the house, etc. More than half of Americans, if that was to occur, they're gonna have to go borrow money in order to make ends meet, right? 73% of these young kids, millennials, are living paycheck to paycheck. And understand that, it is something that's in the water, right? It's generational trauma that is making us be this way when it comes to poor money management. And I think the average person is gonna be like, well, no, it's because we don't make enough money, right? Oh, you know, if I make enough money, I'll never go broke. Well, the reality is this, right? 70% of people that actually hit the lotto, get rich, they go broke. Within 5 years of leaving the NFL, about 80% of NFL players are gonna experience some type of financial hardship. So understand this, at the end of the day, it stems from something generational, something that happened as a kid that might trigger the reason as to why you're either more frugal or more careless when it comes to money. So we're gonna talk all about that, right? And so when you think about this, let's play a little game. How many of y'all, when y'all was a kid driving past McDonald's, what your mama say when you ask to get some McDonald's? Either we got McDonald's at home, or do you got McDonald's money? How many people, whether we was a kid watching Comic View on BET, I'm that old, watching Comic View on BET, or an auntie or a grandparent or a mom or dad, when the phone ring after a certain time, they say, hey, don't answer that phone, that might be a bill collector. Y'all remember the bill collectors they was calling? I'm not paying that, right? Like at the end of the day, out of sight, out of mind. I'm not thinking about that. Right? And when it's all said and done, these are little things that trigger us that, once again, either is going to make us more frugal, more or less careless when it comes to our capital. And that right there is something that, as a parent, our kids are also going to inherit that, right? Think about that, right? Oh, you got your good looks, or you got your good hair from your daddy's side of the family, or your mama's side of the family, or your smarts from this side of the family. Well, understand that generational trauma that you yourself are carrying. Unfortunately, our kids have the ability to carry that as well. So right now we talk about financial therapy. We got to figure out what that trauma is. We're going to talk about how to fix that. And you got to understand, we got to face our fears, and more importantly, understand, look, we just got to move on from it. How many of y'all flew to get here today or this weekend? Now, I think we all tune this out, but one of the things that's so important when it comes to life in general is that person that's standing up there telling you where the exit doors are. But more importantly, if you're flying with a child, they're gonna tell you, put on your oxygen mask first before you put on your kids. That's so important, because you yourself, you can't do what you gotta do as a parent. You can't teach your kids how to be good with money if you yourself are bad with money. Think about that, right? And so right now, I wanna make sure that we all good with money, right? We're gonna talk about how to ensure our kids are straight for a lifetime, but we wanna make sure that you yourself have your own oxygen mask on first. So take out your phone right now. I want you to text, but if you carry credit card debt, which have about an average of a 25% interest rate, and you're trying to invest, you ain't doing nothing but robbing Peter to pay Paul. Think about that. I'm trying to invest in the stock market that's gonna give me an average return of 10%, but I'm paying Capital One 25%. I'm making 10. If I got $100 that I borrow from Capital One, I got another $100 that I invested. I'm giving Capital One $25, but I'm making $10 in the stock market. Net, you down $15, right? So the very steps, right, as we're talking about building true generational wealth, we start with the budget, understand our inflows and outflows, save $1,000, get out of credit card debt. The very next thing, right, when we talk about budgeting, it's important that we understand there's a 50-30-20 rule. Live below your means, right? 50% of your after take-home tax money should be going towards your necessities. Think rent, mortgage, grocery bill, health insurance, light bill, etc., right? 30%, do the things you want to do. travel with your girlfriends, get your hair did, shopping for design, etc. Everything can be done, so as long as it's budgeted. And then lastly, the last 20%, right? We're saving, investing, and paying down debt. Next thing I want you guys to understand, the first thing I talked about was 50% go towards our necessities. I want you to multiply that by 3 to 6, and that's gonna get you your emergency fund. How many people got an emergency fund? I love that. I want every hand to go up when I ask that next year. Why it's so important? Once again, more than 50% of Americans don't have $1,000 saved. But now you say, how do I know how much money I need to have in my emergency fund? I'm a parent. So for me, I want to have at a minimum 6 times my monthly necessary expenses. So on your budget sheet that you just got for the free 99, you're gonna see exactly, okay, how much my rent, how much my car note, how much average, right? My bills are, my grocery bills are, and everything else you'll see listed, but you multiply that by 6, and the one place I want you to put that, not in your bank account, not in your typical checking savings account, put it in a separate account, and that account is a high yield account. High yield account, just like a bank account, however, the only difference is you're gonna get roughly 4 to 5% interest rate. 4 to 5%, and then once we get that, now we can start talking about investing. We can talk about maxing out, our 401ks. So as long as you at a job that's matching you, giving you some type of form of matching. And then lastly, right, we're gonna talk about planning for our children's future, right?